I always had to be up early to be at the radio station every morning. And 2 of my sons were over in Iraq in 1990 and 91. The news was full of the bad stuff going on over there. Scuds flying right over the area. I could not sleep at night for worrying. The fear was just unreal that something might happen to my boys. One night, totally exhausted, I sat down on the edge of my bed and just simply prayed, Jesus, please help me. I laid my head on my pillow and did fall into an exhausted sleep, where I dreamed that I was running through a dark forest and something huge and scary was chasing after me. It was dark clouds overhead, and the forest was darker than usual. I didn't even have time to look to see what it was that was chasing after me, but running for what seemed like forever, I came to the edge of that forest where it abruptly stopped. I looked ahead of me out into a clearing, and I knew I had to get out of that forest. So I ran on ahead to the middle of that clearing. I took a swift glance back and realized that whatever was chasing me had decided to stay back there in that forest. I was so exhausted that I couldn't go another step. I simply fell flat on my back on the ground. Here I was, looking right up into a sky full of dark, dark clouds. All of a sudden, the clouds parted. It formed a small hole up there, and Jesus' face filled that hole. At first, he was like a faded photograph, but as I laid there marveling at what was happening, his face grew brighter and clearer, all light. It made a beam that came right down to the ground and landed right on my chest there. Now, I can tell you, I don't know what the features of his face really were, what nationality, the shape of his nose or mouth, or the color of his eyes. The only thing I do remember is the total look of love that was there. So much compassion for me. It was totally engulfing me as I watched. Like a magnet, I was drawn to the love in his heart. All of a sudden, the clouds began to let go and soft, gentle raindrops began to fall. And as they fell, the light coming down from Jesus' face, which was beamed right on my chest, made those raindrops look just like diamonds. The diamonds, though, as they landed on my chest, didn't just fall on me and roll off to the ground. They embedded themselves right into my chest. And as they went inside of me, the fear that was so huge in my heart began to disappear. At that moment, I couldn't analyze what it was that was even happening. It was so engulfing my whole body, mind, and spirit. And that's when I woke up. I sat right up on my bed and marveled at what had just happened in my dream. Let me tell you, I was not the same Momma when I woke up several hours later on one of the best night's sleep I could recall. Driving to work the next morning at 5 a.m., I looked out over the horizon where the sun was just breaking over the treetops. such a beautiful sunrise. I wept my whole way to work with joy in knowing that God had just worked a miracle in my heart. The constant gnawing fear was gone. Now that, folks, is a miracle. And my sons did come home from that war. Not unscathed, but nonetheless home to their loving families. God is so good.